Hello. This feels kind of weird doing this again, just turning on the webcam and speaking directly to you guys. And also, sorry if I sound a little quiet. I'm trying to keep my voice down as best I can because my father is currently asleep and I don't want to wake him. Um, and also, I recently just got a new microphone. Well, it just arrived in the mail yesterday, so by the time I'm recording this, it's like 3:05 a.m. and it's Monday, December 29th, a couple days to New Year's Eve, so that's crazy to think that it's coming to a close already. Time flies pretty fast, doesn't it? Anyways, but when I do these kind of face cam videos, because it just feels like it's been ages since I've ever got to show my human self again on camera. And the last time I've ever got to show myself on camera was probably like the beginning of 2025. And I started this whole PNG tubing concept in March of 2025. And it's a cool concept, like it really is, and I truly enjoy it. Um, so with these kind of video updates, I want to make this a once in a while thing. And it may end up like sorry, can't speak. It might end up to be a yearly thing, but it really all in all depends what happens with my life, and just try to do my best to stay on the same subject rather than going on to one random topic after another and then getting myself mixed up in the end. So I'm going to go through topic by topic and of course make sure I'm staying on topic. So to give you a bit of a short recap to who I am, my name is Jacob. I am 28 years old. I live off the autism spectrum disorder and Asperger's syndrome. I'll spell it out for you in case you are curious to know what that is. It's ASPERGER, and if you want to do some researching for yourself on what that is, you can go ahead and do that. Anyway, but so my hobbies are videography, video editing, and of course YouTube content creation, gaming, and streaming. And that's all you need to know right now. So I will try to talk more about me, maybe in some other separate videos or video updates even, or even just story time related videos. Anyways, so how is life going for me overall? Well, to tell you the truth, it's what you'd expect. It's going pretty good, and then there's times I deal with nonsense, family drama, and maybe some friendship concerns and some other personal nonsense these days. But as far as like for family life, it's going all right. But of course, in case you don't know, I live with my father, and I have been for a long time now. And we've been making a lot of upgrades to our house renovations, and especially with my room currently, it's got a huge upgrade with flooring, wall paint, and other stuff. We worked really, really hard toward that, and and I'm grateful for what we achieved throughout all that. But got some other house renovations finished too, aside from like my room and my dad's room even. So, but of course, we've also had some recent family passings, because we're in this generation to where our elders are gonna be passing away or just having health issues and eventually going up to heaven, or just being in a better place. If you don't know, we recently just lost my grandpa, who died of my dad's father, to be exact. My dad's father, my grandpa, he recently passed away like a few months ago on August 23rd. we miss him, but to tell you the truth, my dad lived a pretty rough life with him too, and he wasn't exactly the best father to my dad. My grandpa was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and had a lot of mental problems and other things with him that weren't exactly pleasant. And I guess just thinking about it too can really get you a bit emotional. Probably tell already, but my dad, you might say my dad didn't deserve this. Yeah, he truly didn't. And all the things he's been through and even with like the health, some of the health problems that my dad has been through too, all the 6 surgeries he's been through, and him almost dying from that aorta tear he had in mid 2022. That brought me to a big scare. And just thinking about it really gets me tearing up. Also, these are computer glasses. These aren't prescription glasses. I just want to let you know right now, these are blue light glasses, and they were pretty good. But anyway, I just, when I see my dad going through these kind of health problems, I can't help but to get PTSD and think that he'll end up in the hospital again for the 7th time with something else major. And I hope that he doesn't. I've been through some rough moments in my life and childhood, and it's been more tough than you'll ever know. Sorry. Goodness, tearing up. But yeah, we've been kind of going through my grandpa's passing. It's been hard on my father, of course, and he's also got a lot of other pressure on his plate currently. He's dealing with like a lot of other personal stuff with like whether it could be through the homeowners association or just friendship concerns of his own, and maybe some family drama as well with his cousins or whoever. Just people in his life that he hoped would have contacted him, and it seems like he's always the person having to contact them so much these days, they hardly contact him at all. And it's pretty sad that they just leave you in the dark like that, and they don't consider you much into their life. Family life, I usually try to cope with through all this stress, drama, or whatever it could be, and but it's not a dysfunctional family. It's not unhealthy. I do love my family no matter what happens, and they're pretty supportive of what I do, and they enjoy the things I do, and they consider me a good, polite, honest, mature, caring person. I try to be that way with everyone. Well, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people. A good majority of people out there. Now, as far as like my friendships go in life, my current friendships, it's some of my friends I've known for a long time will either ghost me or I'll lose touch with, or they won't really keep me informed much with what's happening with their lives, and they'll just straight up leave me in the dark, and they'll ghost me. And it gets me to this point where I just feel very disconnected from them and wondering what to do next. I've been through a lot of fake and toxic friendships my whole life, and I do my best to try to move on from those fake friendships, even ones from my past. I don't think too deeply about those. I just keep being myself, and I don't worry about the things they've said to me in the past or the things the actions they pulled off, it's because I know I have people in my life that truly love for who I am, that truly support me, truly understand me as a human and what the things I go through. They could even relate as well. It's um, but yeah. So now, how am I doing health wise with especially my family? Well, my family, or most of my family, seem to be doing okay in terms of health and like physical, mental health. Um, for my father, he's doing okay, but like once again, with all the 6 surgeries he's had over the years, like the major pain, physical major pain he's been through, there's sometimes I just can't help but to get PTSD, wondering if he'll end up in the hospital for the 7th time again. And it scares me. It really does. And hopefully nothing happens to him again. As far as like my other side of the family goes, they seem to be doing okay in terms of health, but one of my other elderly family members are having some health problems right now, and I do my best to pray for them and to make sure they do okay, and or not make sure they're okay, but try to keep them in my thoughts and try to call them or contact them as best I can, or even just contact one of the other family members to see how they're doing, and if that makes sense. Now with like my weight loss routine, that's something I'm also trying to achieve, is to try to lose more pounds and to try to lose the stomach I have now, and my goal right now is to try to get back under 300 pounds. Well, get to 300 pounds now, and then try to get under 300 and maybe try to drop back down to 200. Try to get back down to 290 pounds. Well, actually, no, the main one is 250 pounds. I should show you. That's what it is. But so far, things are going pretty well with the weight loss, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm gonna keep at it, of course, with the workouts and making sure I eat healthier foods and not necessarily stick to a diet or anything, but trying to stick to like different proteins, vegetables, or whatever healthy foods are out there that I need to be sticking closest to. How are things at my IRL job? Well, it's what you'd also expect. Either things turn out pretty good or things turn out pretty bad. Like the one time I was recently dealing with a cashier who worked there for a while, and I think she eventually quit or got fired, one of the two. Well, at this rate, I don't really care. But not to go into too much personal detail, but basically, she was harassing and accusing me of things that she thought I was doing, but in reality, I was minding my own business, doing what my managers had asked me to do, doing other tasks, and keeping myself busy with these other tasks. And I couldn't always be there to help her with bagging. And in case you're unaware, I work at a grocery retail job and as a courtesy clerk, and she just got mad at me for nothing. She didn't even like question me or ask me if I was doing this stuff, and I could have told her no, but I didn't do any of this, and she just did this the more immature kind of way, and just I don't know. But I mean, it was the stupidest thing that she could have that she pulled off. But anyway, so the managers, I think, took care of this, or they're doing their best. I think they were doing their best to take care of it, and I haven't seen her recently, so I'm assuming she quit the job or got fired. But again, I don't care. I'm just glad I don't have to put up with. I'm just glad I don't got to put up with this for the long run, or just in general. But do I plan to stay at this place forever? Not really. There are probably other better places or jobs out there I could be working at, or just applying, but job hunting these days it's obviously not simple, especially in today's day and age. But I'm only going to stay at this current job I'm at now for like the next few years and eventually try to maybe look for something better or somewhat better at the very least. And maybe try to look for some freelance video editing work while I'm at it. Try to do that at least once a month, if possible. Um, yeah, that's about the most of it for tonight. I try to keep you caught up with life and tell you more stories about what's going on and or just my life and other things in separate videos. But for the time being, I do appreciate you guys being here. I do appreciate all my subscribers and everyone just being very understanding and very supportive, and even like my IRL friends and family and people just being supportive of me in general. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be here without you guys, or I wouldn't be doing all this stuff without you guys, and I can't thank you enough. Truly. You all are amazing, and I hope you know that. So, see you in the next stream or video.